And Sonia, several North Carolina school districts asked their workers to pull double duty. They climb behind the wheel of a school bus even after spending a full day with children in the classroom. But some of those workers are finding they are too short to reach the controls of the school bus, and now those workers are finding they're out of a job.
I cried on the day I left. I mean, it was very hard for me.
Modena Amuda had worked as an assistant at Falston Elementary School, helping children learn to read.
I am sorry, Medina. I thought that
she has letters from supervisors praising her work.
I have always been impressed by the way you really do seem to love the children.
But despite all that praise for her 2 years of service, Amuda says she learned she could be fired.
And it was like a smack in the face.
Like other teaching assistants in Cleveland County, Amuda knew when she took the job, she would be asked to drive a school bus. But at just 4 feet, 11 inches tall, Amuda cannot even reach the top shelves in her kitchen. She knew when she took a state-required exam earlier this year, she would not be able to reach the steering wheel of a school bus.
I know I couldn't. I could reach it with my fingertips, and that was it.
So the single mother of 3 appealed to the county school board, trying to save her job.
Anytime you lose a good employee, you wish you didn't have to.
School board chairman George Litton says it's hard to find bus drivers, and he is reluctant to make an exception to a long-standing rule, even for someone who has won high marks for her work in the classroom.
And our first obligation is to run a bus system that is safe and has certified drivers.
You can't be an assistant, you can't be a cafeteria worker, you can't be a custodian. You can't. So if you're 5 foot or under, it's like you can't do any of that.
So Amuda decided to quit before the end of the school year. She's taking classes to be certified as a teacher, and she plans to work for a school district that does not have a policy requiring workers to drive buses.
It drives some good people away that don't really want to go away because I didn't want to.
Now, Rowan and Cabarrus counties do require their teacher assistants to drive buses as well. But in those counties, you have to pass that driving exam before you can even be hired in that school district. Now, in Cleveland County, the school board there is taking another look at their policy. No proposed changes so far, but we're told they could consider this policy at their next meeting on June 11th. Chris.
Well, Mark, it's easy to see why many folks would watch this and say it's a clear-cut case of height discrimination, but is it?
Well, not necessarily the case here, because we talked to a custodian who also works with the Cleveland County Schools. Also says she's too short to climb behind the wheel of a school bus. She's forced to resign as well. She says she's tried to hire a lawyer. No one so far willing to take her case because she's hearing that under North Carolina law, well, discrimination doesn't count in a case where you're too short. Chris.
All right, Mark Boone reporting.